Hello, everyone, and welcome to Handy at the Shandy, a Las Vegas podcast. I'm Table James Games, as always, with Adam the Fraud and Boring Jack. Guys, how are you doing? I'm doing great because I leave for Vegas tomorrow.
I feel like you stepped it up with your radio voice there. That was a good one-take intro.
I think we're each kind of encouraging each other to get more and more. It's going to sound like a monster truck sale.
Right.
Like
Wednesday.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I listened to last week's episode.
How was it?
It was great, except for the part where Jack was like, James, are you okay? And I was really just focusing on Jack's story. And then I realized, this is late out here on the East Coast when we're recording, super late. And I'm old. I'm 40 now. I'm a man. And so I had a sugar-free Red Bull before we recorded. I don't know if that's a good idea or not.
Okay.
But we're going to see if it makes me a little more focused with my ADHD here.
Yeah, on screen you looked like you were in La La Land for a little bit there.
It'll help you get on West Coast time. Stay up late tonight.
Heck yeah.
Etc.
That's the plan. Well, in this first hour, we're going back to the well for one of our favorite segments of One Good Thing, where we're going to talk about one good thing and a few of the properties. And then we just have a hodgepodge of topics that we all kind of threw in here, including a cool letter I got from the Southern Nevada Health Association. I don't remember which one it was.
I don't know.
The HOA of Vegas.
It was the Vegas HOA. So for those of you who have been with us for a very long time, aka the last two episodes, you know that sometimes we give three properties in Vegas and we say one good thing about them.
We're working our way north.
Sometimes. This is the second time we've done it.
That's why I said only if you've been the last two episodes. And also, the title of the segment is One Good Thing.
Yeah, and we know we're going to just ramble about all sorts of shit. In fact, I've got some great fun facts prepared about these properties. So, James, why don't you get us into it?
Let's do it. Okay, let's start with MGM Grand. Now, I've never stayed at MGM Grand, but I do walk through it most of the trips that I'm up on that end of the strip. I will say the one good thing about MGM Grand is that, for me, is the way it looks. I just think it's really cool. Like the emerald green, like the entire thing. When you're landing to the airport, you see it. I think that's the coolest thing for me. I don't spend a lot of time inside, so I can't say much about restaurants or the gaming or anything like that. But just the look of it, I think, is the one good thing for me.
The big giant lion out in front is just kind of, looking over Tropicana Boulevard is just kind of neat. I agree with you on that. I've had a love-hate relationship with MGM Grand because I've referred to it as like the Kmart of Las Vegas resorts, where it's got every single thing you need, but it doesn't really have that one thing that's great. It's just like all of it is just pretty much okay. And that is probably being a little bit too harsh on it. But I will say that one of my favorite things about MGM Grand is the mansion. And just having in the middle of this resort, this kind of aspirational high roller thing where if you have a room that's facing it, you can see into it. It's got kind of the glass, the green glass on top. And it's just kind of a neat thing. Like I've been inside, I've seen it before. Obviously I've never stayed, but just knowing that it's there and it's kind of alluring to me, it's a really cool idea for a resort to have.
Yeah. And if people don't know, what Adam's talking about is kind of this multi-story greenhouse atrium, almost like the Bellagio Conservatory. So there's kind of this indoor climate controlled atrium with a bunch of natural light and stuff. And then surrounding it is like 2 stories of some of the most expensive villas in Vegas, like the absolute highest rollers in MGM's portfolio stay there. And I've seen it mostly through trip reports on the Vegas message board from a user that now goes by Travel Fanatic. He does some really good trip reports on there. I know Mike E, Vegas Snob, also has done some mansion-related reporting when he was at the Sky Lofts, I believe, at MGM Grand. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to me that like MGM Grand and MGM, the company, has definitely shunted MGM Grand down to the second tier of their properties. It's very obvious they don't consider it to be on par with like a Cosmo, a Bellagio, or an Aria, but yet it has absolutely the most luxe accommodations in Vegas, maybe outside of a handful of villas at the Wynn.
Yeah, like really cool stuff. And like Mirage used to have some really neat villas as well, which they kept up really well. And were, again, kind of that alluring aspect of Mirage. But a lot of these villas that you see in the different resorts are just kind of hidden, right? And they want them to be. like people who are high rollers or even celebrities, like they want to be tucked away. They want to have private entrances and stuff. Not that the mansion doesn't have that aspect to it, but you can definitely see it. It's impossible to hide because it's so big. And it's just really, really neat.
Yeah, that was almost going to be mine. I think my one good thing about it, I struggle here. Maybe I'll say two good things. I'll start by agreeing with James that I don't go to MGM Grand ever. Part of the reason is that you can't really walk through it. It's all a big dead end once you leave. It has one strip entrance, and then it just kind of meanders its way back east away from the strip. And then that's kind of it. Like you can't go in one door and out the other while you're walking around the strip and stuff like that. And so I don't incorporate into my strip walks or anything like that.
And there's not much like surrounding it on the strip either, like especially with Tropicana gone.
Right. There's nothing south of it, and north of it is just like outlet malls or stuff like that. So one good thing about it is the pool complex. You know, we've kind of already done this with Mandalay Bay, but they put a lot of work into kind of just having a giant pool complex and having something for everyone, where it's like, yeah, there's more of like a party pool and day club, and there's more of like a lazy river and family friendly stuff. And so I think if I ever stayed there, it would be because I'm booking a specific summer trip to check out their pool and just hang out outside for a portion of the day.
Yeah.
The other thing I'd say is I think their restaurant lineup is way better than has any right to be. Like they have some really quality restaurants. And they're thinking like Morimoto, or even what's the Tom Colicchio steakhouse there? Heritage Steak? No, that was the one at the Mirage.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember. And this is to cut you off. This is why I hesitated to call it the Kmart, because they do have some pretty good restaurants,
and obviously they have the Joël Robuchon restaurants,
but none that like draw me in like to make a special visit to MGM Grand. But yes, I think that's a good point.
Now, Jack, you did a little bit of research for us, and you have some fun facts to go along with our One Good Thing segment.
Yeah, because I kind of there's stuff when I hear about a property and you're like, say something about that property. I'm like, ooh, I've got some things to share. And so I was like, I might as well start doing a fun fact segment about some of these properties as we go along. You know, last couple episodes ago, when we were asked about the Mandalay Bay, I was like, did you know they have the largest rooftop solar array? It's like, so I think some fun things about the MGM Grand is that their west wing, which is kind of gives it that long proboscis that sticks out towards the strip. The reason that's the way it is they incorporated the existing marina hotel that sat on that land before into the new build and just made it one wing of kind of their four-winged tower there. And it allowed them to classify the build as like a remodel or an expansion, as opposed to actually having to get permits for a new hotel being built. And so that made things, I think, a lot cheaper, or streamlined them, is kind of why there's that kind of old, antiquated portion of their hotel. And I think just in this last year, in 2025, they did some pretty big renovations on those rooms in the West Wing. So,
and those are smaller rooms. And I will say that people who are like first-time Vegas visitors who get put in the West Wing, they just book the cheapest room at MGM Grand. Yeah. They do not like being put in there because it's not as well lit. That's the bunker. Yes. Yeah. It's not well lit at all. So, you know, just be wary if you get a West Wing room.
And yeah, when the MGM Grand opened, it had 5,005 rooms, which made it the largest hotel in the world at the time it opened in 93. And now it actually has fewer rooms than that, because they've done some like suite renovations and stuff to actually make some bigger rooms and lower the overall room count. But just over 5,000 rooms when it opened. And then here's something I learned just recently, is that at the time it opened, you know, it kind of had that Wizard of Oz Emerald City theme, you know, that James was talking about with the color of it. You know, much like Caesar's Palace, MGM Grand gets a rap for having a really like labyrinthian casino that just kind of sprawls and goes on forever. Part of it was because they had 4 distinct casinos with different themes at the time it opened. So the main one that you would hear about is like the Emerald City Casino, which was themed after the Wizard of Oz. It had costumed performers and animatronics. Like, man, I wish I could have seen Vegas at that time. But the other 3, they had the Hollywood Casino that had a movie theme, the Monte Carlo Casino, which was focused on their high rollers, and then they had the Sports Casino, which kind of opened out onto their sports book.
So I don't remember the other ones. I do remember because I went at the time they had the Wizard of Oz theming, and I remember in the middle they had giant glass panes that surrounded the actual lion exhibit in the middle of the resort as well. And that's when I went, when they had the theme park outside too, the very short-lived theme park. So MGM Grand was like the place to be at the time in the late 90s. It was very cool.
Do you think there'll be a resurgence of MGM Grand when the ballpark gets finished?
I think it might already be doing fine. I think we just kind of assume because we don't like to stay there and most of our friends don't stay there that it's like, oh, MGM Grand's kind of on the outs. My guess is it's doing really well. And so I don't know if it needs to resurge.
They just renovated their rooms, which do look quite good, because I think I stayed there. It's like basically if I stay at a resort for the first time in a while, it's about to get a refresh. Like I get it right when it's on its way out. So yeah, I think you're right though. And anytime I have been in there, it's been pretty crowded. So yeah, I think it's doing okay.
And I think one thing that MGM does that's nice that we always tell Caesars they should be doing is they take care of their properties. Like MGM has been consistently investing in MGM Grand over the years, whether it's, one wing of rooms or another, or stuff on the casino floor and restaurants. And they keep trying to get big ticket events into their arena there. They did a lot of boxing fights. It's kind of tough that T-Mobile has started to take some of that away just because it can seat more people. So you get the biggest like MMA fights and stuff at T-Mobile. But they're part of a joint venture that owns T-Mobile as well. So they're not really all that sad if a big fight goes down the road.
Well, let's move on down the strip to New York, New York. I went first last time. So Adam, what is your one good thing about New York, New York?
Well, I still think the theming is really good, especially in certain little nooks, especially kind of I'm going to say the back, and that's not a very good description of where this is, but there's just certain little walkways where they have like the fake kind of brick or cobblestone streets and the like restaurant or bodega facades, which are just kind of really fun. It's a shame that it's kind of in the back, but even when you're on the casino floor, you can kind of look at what is kind of their mock Times Square, if you will, with kind of the lights and the advertisements and stuff. And I just think that's really fun. It's a very pretty looking casino thematically, and just from anywhere you look on the floor, like it still retains a lot of that without, I think, sacrificing. It's like I think it's got a good balance between like the kitschy and like the appropriately modern type look to it, if you will, that's really hard to balance.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely not going to be anything of substance because there's not much. I don't really ever spend money at that property on anything. Right. But I was going to say the outdoor portion, which is kind of what Adam's going with. But this is where they have their like Brooklyn Bridge, their mock model of the Brooklyn Bridge, and their cobbled streets spill out onto the strip sidewalk. So that whole sidewalk area out in front of them, much like I enjoyed Treasure Island, keeping the strip sidewalk in front of it to be a wooden boardwalk theme. The sidewalk in front of New York, New York has more of like a cobbled street sort of theme. And I think that's really cool. I think it's something that like the more you walk by it, the less you notice it. But like you get to walk along this like go under the arches of a big fake Brooklyn Bridge, just like there. And it's like, oh, and there's the Statue of Liberty and it's the coaster at Coney Island. I don't know. There's a lot to see from the outside. So I'm going to be the James on this one. I think the outside of the building is the best. You just
Nice. I'm going to go very specific and talk about the coaster. Like, I just think that's really cool. Like, even though I haven't been on it in 15 years on that roller coaster, but if I was in that area and someone else was like, hey, we should do that, I would do it. But the thing is, I'm never in that area. I'm never with anybody who is like, let's go away from this video poker bar and ride a roller coaster. But I would. Have either of you been on that lately?
I was on it last year.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's not as bad as people say. Like, I didn't feel, I'm old now. Like that, it didn't feel like, and people complain about like neck pain and stuff like that. I'm like, get over it, guys. It's a roller coaster. What do you want it to be? Like a lazy boy? Like you're going high in the air.
It's like people who go on water rides. They're like, oh man, I got so wet on that. I know. It's like, why'd you go on a water ride?
It's funny though. Like I had been on it since I was like a teenager. I was convincing my buddy to go on it, and he goes, the first drop's not that high, right? Like, no, it's fine. It's like nothing. And I didn't realize it actually is quite high.
It's kind of a proper roller coaster. It goes upside down. It goes, no.
I was like, oh, we got out like, because you leave the station, then you go outside. I'm like, oh shit. I just looked at it. I'm like, my bad.
Well, speaking of things being particularly high, one of my fun facts about New York, New York is that it opened in January of 1997. And at the time it opened, it was the tallest building in Las Vegas, which I thought was kind of wild. It's because their hotel towers are kind of a mishmash of various notable New York, Manhattan skyscrapers. And so it's kind of bookended by a fake Empire State Building and a fake Chrysler Building. And yeah, that Empire State Building end of it made it the tallest building in all of Vegas. And so my trivia question for you guys is, when was it surpassed as the tallest casino hotel, and by what?
I think I know the answer, not when, but which hotel.
Sure. Well, can I ask a question beforehand? I'll let you go first.
Yeah,
Are we talking about
a question?
Habitable building?
Yeah. This is not. This is the Strat. Does not count. This is the casino hotel tower.
I'm going with Palazzo. Final answer.
That was going to be my guess.
It actually, so Palazzo opened in like 07. It actually, the Wynn, which opened in 05, was actually taller and was the tallest building until that Palazzo opened. So yeah. But yeah, it held the crown of tallest building in Vegas for like just over 8 years, which I would have never thought. It doesn't even strike me as a particularly notable structure. But the only other fun thing I had about New York, and I don't know if y'all have heard of this, because this made the mainstream news a while back, but the U.S. Postal Service actually ended up paying $3.5 million in damages as part of a court settlement or a court order to the artist who designed New York Statue of Liberty, because they incorrectly used the New York Statue of Liberty and not the one from New York City.
It's awesome.
On their postage stamps. And it was like a very popular postage stamp. And the artist was like, yeah, it's popular because my Statue of Liberty is so much better than the one there.
And this is like pre-AI too, where this mistake happens. It's amazing.
Now, I love how it's called damages, where it's really probably just the idea of royalties, right? Because like, was this person really harmed by it?
Damages is just, I think, the legal term for them having misappropriated his work and gained money from it,
Yeah, but like the word damages is,
I don't know. I didn't make that word up.
Oh, I thought you did. You were actually really, really nice to me when I was wrong about Palazzo, because I'm like, final answer Palazzo, and you're like, well, that's no.
I was impressed that you got something basically right in the right time frame. I would have been like, oh, it has to be something that I would have thought it got usurped very quickly. So I would have been like, Bellagio, Venetian, stuff that opened shortly. Paris, stuff that opened shortly thereafter. But
I thought I was right the way that you were like, well, yes, no.
You're right. Yeah. He didn't want to have to. He didn't want to pay damages.
No.
So it's moved on.
Yeah, he didn't want to pay those damages. All right, and our last one good thing. Park MGM.
We should have drawn straws to see who gets to put down the bets for this one.
Yeah.
Well, Jack, you get to go first.
I'm going to take not the low-hanging fruit. I really want to go for something like Best Friend. I think in general the restaurant lineup is great. I'm just going to talk in particular about Italy, because I think Italy bats way above its weight in terms of like the, even just like their cocktail bars that sell like spritzes, or they have like wide varieties of my favorite bitter Italian liqueurs. I think their food options are actually much broader than you might expect. Like I was just recommending to Table Games Kim that Italy, with their emphasis on like pizzas and pastas and stuff, you wouldn't expect to be particularly good at being gluten-free, but they have like good grilled to order meats, fish, marinated kebabs, that kind of stuff. There's like all sorts of little stands in there where you can get a good meal. And so I feel like if I need like a mid-afternoon lunch of some sort, I should go there more often. I still probably go about once or twice a year, but it could be an every trip thing with how much variety they have.
I see a lot of people balk at Italy because of the price point, but you think at the price point still it's a good value for you?
I haven't found like a lunch there to be any more expensive than going to like the food court at the Cosmo or the food court at Aria or something like that. Like you can get a sandwich that will fill you up for like under $20 for sure.
Yeah. I mean, we have an Italy in Chicago. We go to it whenever we have the chance. We quite like it. Also because it's just like good shopping too. Like we'll get some bottles of wine and bring it home and stuff like that. But I'm with you. Like I like Italy a lot for that same reason, because it's right off the casino floor. It's actually like good, fresh food. It just like, it doesn't weigh you down.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yes, exactly.
So yeah, I'm a big fan.
And that's hard to find in Vegas at these food court type places a lot. Like everything's like lardo, hot chicken, everything is just fried, right? Like,
what about you, Adam? What are you taking?
I guess I will take the low hanging fruit. And it's what I'll say that I like about What I'll say that I like about Park MGM is that I think, and I don't have any scientific data to back this up. I haven't looked at the annual reports or anything like that, but a lot of people thought that it was doomed to fail when they said they were going to be smoke free and be permanently smoke free. And it doesn't seem like that's the case. And in fact, it seems like quite the opposite, where there's a lot of people who really do like hanging out there because of that fact. Now, if they oversaturated the market with smoke-free places, at one point, a blogger was making the rumor that Planet Hollywood is going to be smoke-free, and they said, no, we're not doing that. Would it be the case that Park becomes that kind of haven for people who want to break away from the smoke? I don't think so. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it has first mover advantage because of it. I'm not sure. I'm liking that it's proving people wrong, because I do like it for that fact, and it's a place that I enjoy visiting just to get that break.
All right, I'm going to go with something that we could probably pick for like the next 5 that we do.
How it looks from the outside.
Yes. No, that's the worst quality.
It kind of looks like a place called Monte Carlo.
It does. I'm going to go with location, specifically that it's so close to T-Mobile, and also you can quickly get to Aria. You can get to the Strip real fast, walk down to Cosmo, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I really think Park MGM's location is great. And if anyone's going out there for the first time and is like, hey, I want to stay somewhere that's not going to be super expensive, but it's kind of still right in the middle of everything, especially someone who's not a smoker, like I will say Park MGM 9 times out of 9, say this is where you should look into staying.
Yep.
The rooms aren't great. I've stayed there a couple times recently. They're fine. It's nothing special. But if it's a family going out there or a husband and wife going out there for, a weekend or midweek trip, and just like I want to stay somewhere that's in the middle of it all and experience Vegas, I'm definitely going to say Park MGM.
100%. When I went out for my 40th, I said, I'm staying at Cosmo. Here are the dates. If you want a cheaper hotel, Park MGM's right there. And a couple people did, and it was perfect. And we could all meet up, but it wasn't cumbersome at all.
I almost said for the New York one, and I kind of hinted at this, was the Park area. And it's hard to tell if the Park belongs to Park or if the Park belongs to New York. But they really did, when they constructed the T-Mobile hockey arena, they built out a large kind of more outdoor patio space with more kiosks, vendors, bars, and restaurants that open up to the outside to kind of make it so that you can hang out outside before these games. And it's on that little avenue between Park MGM and New York. And so I think it's definitely more on the New York side. So I'd call it one of theirs. But like what James is saying about location, it's like, yeah, you have all that right there too. So
do we have any fun facts, Jack?
I'm so glad you asked. One thing that I do recall this, but there was a large rooftop fire at the property in 2008 where a bunch of like the HVAC stuff on the roof just caught fire. It apparently destroyed or heavily damaged a large portion of the top floor of the property. And as a result, when they reconstructed and remodeled it, that kind of got them into doing the hotel in a hotel concept, because they had all these brand new, nicer rooms up on that 32nd floor, which was their top floor. And they ended up calling it Hotel 32 and making it its own brand within the Monte Carlo structure. This was back when it was still Monte Carlo. And then when they switched over to Park, they kind of expanded that hotel within a hotel concept into Nomad. And these days it's called the Reserve at Park MGM.
I loved Monte Carlo. I would go there every time because they had that food court as soon as you got in there. And I felt like they had some high quality, fast casual food. The gaming was at great limits back in those aughts. So I miss Monte Carlo, although I guess I don't, because Park MGM is kind of the same thing.
Well, and they had that big, was it just called the Pub or something like that? I can't remember what it was. A lot of people like that too. I, of course, like Samba Latte, which was out front. There were some good things. But it wasn't as popular as Park MGM is now.
Yeah, and regarding the renaming and de-theming of the Monte Carlo, Jim Murren, who at that time was the CEO of MGM, he said, we're not going to name it something from somewhere else. Those days are over. This is Las Vegas. We are at the top of the list of entertainment cities. We are not second to anybody. We are not going to have a property themed after a city from a faraway place.
Mandalay Bay, New York.
Right. It's such a vindictive way to decry the old way of doing the theming. It's like, as if Vegas did the theming in the 90s because it was so inferior to those other cities. And now that it's better than them, it doesn't need it anymore.
This pyramid is a completely fictionalized product we made up. There is no city like Luxor anywhere in the world. Completely original concept.
But I thought that was a funny look at it. I think they just wanted MGM's brand on more stuff, especially with its proximity to T-Mobile. They were just like, hey, slap MGM on as much stuff as we can.
Right.
Now, you were telling us before we started recording, Jack, that it wasn't always smoke-free, and that was just post-COVID. Is that true?
Yeah, that kind of surprised me because in my head, I had decided that when they switched over from Monte Carlo to Park MGM in 2018 was when they declared it was going to be a smoke-free casino. And no, it was actually 2 years later in 2020 when they reopened after the pandemic that they said this is now as good a time as any for us to do an entirely smoke-free property. So, and that was probably the most popular time you could have implemented something like that, when people are have been thinking the most about the air they're breathing and stuff like that.
You know what's better than a smoke-free casino?
A casino that's free of disease.
A casino that's free of disease. Look at that transition. Adam, did you get your letter?
I don't know. I don't think so. Was it mailed?
It was mailed, yes.
Okay.
I opened my mail last week. It was in a very plain white envelope, and the only reason why I opened it was because the return address was Las Vegas, Nevada, but it was nothing. I was like, I'm not sure this is an offer or something. I open it up, and it's from the Southern Nevada Health Association. And it was like, by the way, people that were staying at the Wynn in this 7-month period tested positive for Legionnaires' disease.
And that's a bummer because Rio previously had the market cornered on the Legionnaires' disease.
Yeah, they did.
So when I opened this letter, I read through it, and I'm like, I haven't seen this from anyone else. And I posted it on X, the Twitter.
I'm sure Wynn loved that.
I'm sure they loved it. And a couple of people were like, oh, yeah, I got that too. And I was like, well, I think I'm fine. Because no joke, it was sometime between September and April.
Yeah, that's like when your cable service provider says they can come out to your house. It's like, okay, great window, guys.
No, I think the reason why the window is so large is there were 2 cases. There was one case from September or October that was confirmed, and another confirmed case many months later. But so as a result, they're like, they have reason to believe that anything could have happened at any time in there, right? But I was actually really happy to see that it was a high-end property like Wynn that is going to be taking the short end of the stick on this one, because we have heard about a Legionnaires outbreak at Rio many years ago, let's say 8 or 9 years ago at this point. But still, when I think of Legionnaires' disease, I think of Rio. That's not even a joke. It sounds like
I think Rio was.
When you think Legionnaires, think Rio.
Rio was packed for a conference, and they walked someone to Wynn, and they're like, "Hell yeah, we got it."
I'm going to be at Rio in a couple of days, and also at Wynn. So I'm probably
you're patient one. Yes,
I might be. I also opened up our little document here, and Jack has a note that says, "Was that more or less exciting than the mailer for the Resorts World offer?"
Yeah, which one were you more happy to see? The news about getting a free room on a particular night at Resorts World?
One night.
Well, what happens if you get Legionnaires? What offer do they give you at Wynn if you contract it? Have we figured this out yet?
I don't know. That could be a AP move,
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My favorite part about it was if you have these symptoms and are still sick, go to the doctor. And I'm like, okay, I was there 2 months ago. I would hope that if I had these symptoms and was still suffering from these symptoms, I would have went to the doctor by now. Is it a letter from the Southern Nevada Health? Is going to be like, oh man, you are right. I guess I should probably go see the fucking doctor now.
And I need free play. Do they take free play? I have Blue Cross Blue Shield and $50 in free play from Wynn. Does that cover my...
I think that's what the healthcare system should probably move towards here.
Also, I'm in my 40s. I have every symptom at this point. I'm drowsy. That's just, of course I am.
So neither of you have Legionnaires' disease.
No, I'm not even confident what it is. So.
No, I don't. It just sounds funny.
I mean, it sounds.
I think it's
it sounds
pretty
like
serious,
a budget.
but
It sounds like a budget airline, if you ask me. All right, moving on to other topics.
Other news:
the Hard Rock guitar topped out, and they're moving really fast on this. I would say so. However, as Jack points out in our notes here, going to Vegas often makes progress sometimes seem really slow. Are you saying that usually, and this is different, or it still seems that way?
I think this is different. I think oftentimes I go to Vegas and I see, oh, there's going to be a new hot pot place at Resorts World. And then like I go to Vegas 2-3 months later and it's like, oh, coming soon in 2025, there's going to be a new hot pot place here at Resorts World. And then I go another 2 months later and they're like, you know what's coming? 2025 to Resorts World? Hot pot. And I'm like, yeah, I know. The sign has been up. There's been drywall up or surrounding this restaurant for 7 months now. And it's like, yeah, if a restaurant takes like 9 months to open, back when I would go to Vegas once or twice a year, you'd be like, oh, there's a new restaurant coming. The next time you'd go, it would be open. And now it's like, that couldn't be further from the truth. You have to see, like, I feel like that Hermes outlet in the Bellagio lobby was like under construction for like a year and a half. It probably wasn't, but like, I feel like that was under construction longer than there was any store there. And so that's why I think this Hard Rock thing, it feels so different, is that you can see the progress being made, right? And I guess not any longer, because they've done the highest point it's going to get to is where they've finished the steel and concrete construction. So it's now just all the other stuff. But I put this in the rundown, I think, because I'm just actually so excited about Hard Rock. It's like the one thing we have to look forward to about Vegas. So anytime something comes up with it, it's going to be like, oh, did you know they took all the glass out of the main Mirage Tower? And they've started putting up the blue glass to match the guitar. It's like, great, put that in the show. Oh, did you know that the guitar tower topped out and they finished the height of it? Put it in the show. I mean, I'm all in on this.
No, you're right though. Like, I'm impressed by how much has gotten done there. Like, I had a deck built, and it took longer than it took to get this guitar up. Like, I don't know who the contractor is, but good on them for the expediency with which they're getting that thing built, because it's not like they just had the plans in their back pocket too. Like, I'm sure there were some adjustments that had to be made from like the Fort Lauderdale one or wherever the other one is in Florida. The fact that like plans were drawn, we got it done, the contractors looked over, was like, yeah, let's go, and like just started putting it up. It's pretty impressive.
Now, does that make me want to stay there? It's going up so fast. I don't know. Is it going to be?
It's going to
be a little wobbly.
The Harmon Tower at the City Center.
Take it down.
One thing that Karen said on the Neon Lounge podcast is she didn't think that 2027 is a real plausible opening date for it.
Interesting.
She was thinking like just with the way everything goes in the industry and the way these timelines work, she's like, I'd be surprised to see it 2027. She said 2028 would be a much safer bet. And so I'd be curious. I think with the speed it's gone up, I wouldn't bet against them, but there's still probably a lot to do as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Should we start a pool? Like, you get to pick a week. You throw $5 in for every week you want to pick, and we'll see who gets it right.
And if it opens, I don't know. I'll have to get some insider info.
Yeah, I mean, but this is a group that knows what they're doing. Like, this isn't like the Fontainebleau group that was scrambling and trying, this 20-year project and changed hands multiple times. Like, they've done this before. I think Karen's right on, where it always comes into some unforeseen, hiccup with buildings, especially something of this size and magnitude. But yeah, I mean, these are also people that have built a guitar tower before.
I think the staffing is going to be really interesting too. Like Fontainebleau and Resorts World did, they tried to poach a lot of top people from a lot of top properties. Hard Rock, they have other casinos that they can pull their own talent from and say, hey, do you want to make the move over to Vegas? But they'll probably be doing that a lot of that in town as well, trying to get top employees from other properties. So.
A lot of people in Prim need new jobs, so they can head over to Hard Rock.
Well, that somehow didn't make the news for our show. But
this news rundown.
Well, that's it. That's the end of the news rundown, unfortunately.
Just Legionnaires' disease in the Hard Rock. All right, so next up is talking about favorite free things to do. My favorite free thing to do is to just be in Vegas.
Yeah. End of discussion. What's the next topic?
No, and people might be asking, like, James, you're talking a lot. And I forgot to say this at the top of the show, but this is episode 24, which is divisible by 3, which means that I'm in charge. Yeah.
Yeah, that explains actually a lot of what's been going on here.
Might have to record the entire opening since I didn't say episode 24. So people are going to go back through our catalog and be like, "What? I don't know what number this is."
Fix it in post.
He was too busy getting his radio voice ready that he just skimmed right by it.
Skimmed right by it. But for real, I think my favorite free thing to do, and I do this almost every time I go to Vegas, is watch the Bellagio fountain. Like I will go, ideally be on the Strip and watch it if F1's not screwing that up. But if not, just even from that walkway from Bellagio down, check that out. Or if I'm super lucky and I have a view from the Cosmo, then I just really, really enjoy it. It feels like I'm in Vegas when I'm watching that.
Yeah, everyone's talking about how expensive things have gotten in Vegas, but I do think that it is worth noting that some things are still completely free like that. I had the pleasure of taking a couple of my friends to Vegas back in 2023, and they had never been before, or at least not outside of, going when they were a kid or something like that. Mm-hmm. And just seeing them see the Bellagio fountains for the first time was like such a cool thing, because I had forgotten how cool it is, or at least how novel it is. I don't know. I enjoy it every time that I see it, like James is saying, but it's different when you're seeing it with someone that's seeing it with a fresh set of eyes.
Yeah, and I think I always lean on that too. Like for me, it's like, why do I like walking around? And I think it's like just a really kitschy architecture tour. Like that's what it is to me. Like in Chicago, one of the best things to do in the summer is, if you're a tourist, is take the architecture tour, because to me, Chicago has fantastic architecture and it's really neat to learn about it. And in Vegas, it's almost like there is a Madame Tussauds, but it's like the Madame Tussauds version of it, right? Where it's like, come see this goofy ass New York. Come see this stupid pyramid or this ridiculous castle or whatever it is. And then, of course, you've got some beautiful modern architecture too, some beautiful interior designs with Wynn and even Fontainebleau. But yeah, like go see this goofy stuff. Go see Madame Tussauds. Well, not Madame Tussauds. It sucks and it's not. It's
free.
Expensive. But obviously, where it's located, Venetian Palazzo, very fun to walk around in as well. Or even like the Forum shops at Caesars. It's just kind of really neat, especially back in the day when they had that like Trojan horse back at like FAO Schwartz. I don't know if you guys were around back then, but yeah, I think it's fun just to walk around and notice all these things. I would say that one thing I wish that Vegas had more of, which I kind of compare to Disney, is there's not like a lot of Vegas Easter eggs, if you will. And that's one of my favorite things about Disney is like the engineers. What do they call them? The I'm going to get
Mouseketeers.
No, that's certainly not
Imagineers.
The Imagineers. Thank you.
Bummer.
It's very clear that the Imagineers had a really fun time designing certain aspects of the park and would throw in these little Easter eggs or, hidden Mickeys, whatever it is that you want to call it. That's something my kids love looking for. But for me, like Vegas doesn't have some of that, which I feel like is kind of missing. It's where like we talk about like the subtle nods to theming that can make it really fun. Like it's missing some of that. Like I remember we've talked about this before, like when Paris had like French lessons in the bathroom.
Apparently they still do. People wrote in after we said that to say that they still have that. So
I didn't hear it the last time I was there. Maybe I was just in the wrong bathroom. I don't know.
Yeah.
But little things like that, right? Like you have this like, it's almost like that little hidden trivia that you have when you watch a movie, right? It's like whenever Aragorn kicks the helmet and everybody knows, like that's their one little Easter egg, there's one little trivia thing that I know that newbies don't know. And I wish there were more of that there.
What do you think the Easter eggs should be? Like if everyone got together, right? They're not hidden Mickeys, but it'd just be like boobs, like hidden boobs everywhere or something.
That's like Pompeii. Like at Pompeii, if you've ever been to Pompeii, there are dicks everywhere, and I'm not even joking. There are literally penises all on the streets in Pompeii because they're just really into brothels and stuff. So yeah, more penises is basically like the hieroglyphics at Luxor have a penis in there. No,
great.
But there's an opportunity, right? Is there some sort of gambling Easter egg you could put in the hieroglyphics somewhere that only a few people are ever going to see? Same thing in New York with like little, like I said, bodega facades or whatever. Like I'm not clever enough to come up with kind of all these things, but I feel like it's just there's opportunities there to have more fun, and they've pulled back on that, or really never really got to that point.
Resorts World, which is a pretty new property, they've got the disco bathrooms, which I think is pretty cool. Like just randomly one set of the bathrooms that they have kind of off their food court.
Right.
For no particular reason, just has actual like disco lighting in it and disco balls and just kind of craziness. And everyone's like, it turns into a thing like, oh, if we're at Resorts World and we're like, have you seen the disco bathroom? My friend's like, oh no, what do you mean? It's like, well, we gotta, like, come on, let's at least go check out the disco bathroom.
Yeah, like pissing on the Berlin Wall, right? There's like, we need more of that stuff out there.
One thing, I was talking about getting enjoyment from seeing other people's enjoyment of stuff. I walked through on my most recent trip with Josh Duffy, the Bellagio Conservatory again, and it still had that spring kind of pastel theme that Adam really liked last time. And I went and had another look at it because I thought it was fine. When I first saw it, Adam was like, this might have been one of my favorite conservatories I've seen in recent years. And so when I did go back and give it another look just to be like, hey, what am I missing here? Or, hey, like, can I appreciate some of this stuff more? Because it is too easy to kind of look at it and forget that, like, yeah, most of this is still just flowers and plants that are all alive and changed out daily. And so that's why I wanted to, like, we mentioned the Bellagio fountains. The other obvious one to mention is the Bellagio Conservatory because it is still free. And it's incredible how much money and effort goes into making it what it is every day.
I would love for people to write in, let us know, like, if a Vegas Easter egg that, frequent Vegas goers know of. It could be like those bathrooms, right? Or like some Vegas trivia thing that's like kind of still around that more people should take a look at or should know. Like these kind of secret little nuanced niche things that I would like to hear more about that.
Or like the speakeasy,
With the website?
We want to hear about more speakeasies.
Right, yes.
The ones that have the word speakeasy with an arrow.
Yeah.
Another one I think that has to be mentioned is the free concert series on Fremont Street. Like they bring in, kind of a lot of older, washed up, one-hit wonder type bands, but bands who still have a song you've heard of. They're trending younger. It used to be a lot of like 80s and 90s acts, and now it's a lot of 90s and 2000s acts.
I know.
Kind of interesting.
It's a bummer.
No, it's good. Soon it'll be bands we actually know at some point. But it's always fun to hear what they're doing for their free concert series down there, because every other weekend throughout the summer, they're going to have free live music of named acts. And even when they don't have that, they have free live music every weekend down there anyways. So I think that's kind of crazy, especially because downtown is so affordable in general compared to staying on the Strip. So being able to stay there and take in some of the free entertainment is a good value these days.
Also, the Flamingos. Go check out the Flamingos at the Flamingo.
Can you go out there still? Remember that guy stole one?
I think it's still there. Like I think you can still observe.
It's there, but I think they at one point after that, like the aftermath, they had closed it so you couldn't go out there.
Huh.
I don't know. Not to bring this podcast down, but that was a
way to bring down the energy.
My bad.
I don't know. You were the one that, or Jack, you were the one that walked through and checked out some spots. You didn't give us some on the ground reporting.
No, we were too busy in the depressing Keno nook.
I think overall for free things to do, it's a lot of observing cool shit.
People watching. Well, that's kind of the opposite of observing cool shit, but
getting little porn cards, all the cool things.
It's the boobs that Adam wants.
No, I said penises very clearly.
Very clearly dicks. But the next topic is gambling with strangers. How do we decide what tables, bars, machines to play at based around who else is there at the time? What preferences do we have about empty versus full tables? When it comes to video poker, I just want a machine most of the time. But if I have an option, I'm not going to sit near someone.
It's kind of like the every other urinal sort of thing. You're going to, yeah.
Good talk.
I think one thing that I'm always trying to do if I'm looking to play like a table game is in the morning, I'm always trying to see if the people that are at the table are up from the night before or not. Because if it strikes me that they are still up from the night before, I'm going to steer clear of it. But if they are just an early riser like me, I'd be much more likely to go to like a craps table, like a place that play a coffee dice session at a table that has people at it. Yeah,
I think I tend to like more empty tables. It's like almost like I look for tables where, it's very clear that these people know each other, they're friends. It's like, I just want them to have their good time and not get in the middle of that, because I'm also just not very personable at times. So I'd rather just them have their good time, and I'm fine waiting. I almost like it when, if the table's a little bit down, like I'm fine jumping in there because I don't mind being around people that are kind of grumps at times. And, maybe maybe they just need me to turn it around, if you will.
Yeah.
They just need my bubbling personality to jump in there.
They need the guy drinking the mocktails to come on in.
That's right.
and liven up the joint.
Oh, God. I was in Wisconsin this weekend and asked the grocery store if they had any non-alcoholic beer. Like, asking that in Wisconsin, like, get the hell out of here.
They're like, we have alcohol in our cheese curds. Like,
get out, man.
I do think it's interesting, though, because a lot of times your preferences, you want other people at your table, but you don't necessarily want it to be full, or you don't necessarily want specific people to be at your table, because there's a lot of different ways we've talked about in the past that people can annoy you in Vegas. You want to join a table that seems fun or has stuff going on, but doesn't have a high propensity for people being annoying. But then again, it's like that old poker adage, they say in poker, if you can't spot the fish at the table after like 30 minutes of playing, it's because you're the fish.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the same way, where it's like, if you're like, oh man, no one at this table is really annoying, it's like, yeah, it's probably because you're the most annoying guy at the table. Yeah. So
if I'm playing a table game like Let It Ride, 3-card poker, ultimate, like any of those, I'm fine with the full table. I'll go in and I'll squeeze into a spot that's open. That usually doesn't bother me. Craps tables bother me if there's people who don't know what they're doing. And that's just like me being kind of stuck up. Like, I'm okay if it's not that busy and someone's up there trying to learn. But if someone's like really slowing down the game, I'm like, I'm just going to not be here right now.
I think there's a big difference between people that don't know what they're doing and people who are trying to learn. And I don't think there's as much overlap between those two as you would like.
Yeah.
Because I think if someone is trying to learn, they're actually pretty quick, because they're not trying to do anything late or like, make a bet at the wrong time because they don't know what they're doing. So they're just asking the dealer, hey, what do I do here? The dealer's going to help them, and they'll just kind of follow along. But it's the people that know just enough to be dangerous that are the ones that, like, they notice people throwing out late bets and they think it feels cool to like throw your chips in and yell something, rather than do it at the correct time or stuff like that.
I was going to say, one, I don't know what I'm doing most of the time, so I get corrected quite a bit, but it's fine because I'm pretty quick with making the correction. But I don't like the people who know a lot and then like to change their bets frequently because it messes with the dealers, or as Jack says, they're making late bets and they're doing it all. Like, we've played with people like that, where it's like a point will be established, they'll roll a number, and then they'll roll another number, and then these people are changing their bets again. It's like, what are we doing? Like, that didn't change anything on the table. Why are you messing with what's going on? And that just makes the roll longer and longer. I have more patience for newbies, but I don't care that much, because the longer the roll or the longer it's taking, theoretically, my Theo's going to be better, you would hope. Mm-hmm. But, that just kind of limits the volatility a little bit. I'm fine with a longer roll. I don't need the action as much as some people do.
I don't know who would need that.
I really don't mind just like taking my drink off the rail and then taking like a big step back from the table and just kind of being like, let me look at what's going on around me and take a sip of my cocktail and just kind of like take a big deep breath in. It
does happen, right? Where it's like, it's going too quickly and we're just getting hammered, and it's like, actually fine. Like, have someone come in and break this up a little bit. And I don't mind. Yeah, buy in, take forever. Buy in with 100 singles if you want. It doesn't matter. Like, let's just calm this down a bit.
What about machines? Like, what if you're going to play video poker or even a slot?
I think it's really interesting how casinos have added so many more like carousel style slots, where it's 4 seats that are all opposing each other, where you're kind of sitting at 90-degree angles to one another. Mm-hmm. Whereas Vegas casinos used to just be filled of rows and rows of machines that were all shoulder to shoulder with each other. And now it's generally more 4-pod or 6-pod little like star shapes, if you will, where the machines all radiate out from a center point and then form like a little kiosk there. You don't really have to decide, do I want to play squeeze in between these two people to play this game. You kind of feel like you're not impinging on anyone no matter where you sit at a lot of these modern machines. And so I think that's great.
Do you think that was because maybe they thought, well, maybe we're losing some coin in because people are preferring to scatter
leave it every
bit?
other anyways? Yeah, I do think so.
I think a lot of it has to do with the design of the casino floor, right? Trying to avoid straight lines, getting people weaving in and out.
Could also be that. Oh, look at you, Miss Schul. Is that her name?
Doctor probably would
Dr.
be my
Schul.
guess.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
you're best.
Here's a quick what are we plugging?
What are we plugging?
404 Media did a podcast with Dr. Schul, the author of Addiction by Design. She was on there talking kind of a bit about the ways in which the world has become a casino, and you have easy access to gambling like 24/7, especially with these like prediction markets and stuff that are allowing quote unquote gambling in places where it wouldn't have previously been allowed. And so I thought that was a really good, if you've read her book, a little bit of what she says is going to feel like a rehash, but there was some really interesting stuff in there. It's not a particularly long interview, so I'd go check that out. But what are we plugging?
What are we plugging?
Well, not the seat next to other people at machines, because I don't like sitting there just out of respect. But do you, I was going to ask, like, Baccarat, Pai Gow, like, for instance, like Pai Gow, maybe this is me being accidentally racist. If the table is all Asian people, like, I won't sit at the Pai Gow table because I feel like, is that respectful or not? I don't know. Not that it's not. Like, I have every right to kind of be there. But I see, like, especially here in Chicagoland, like, we have a place that has a huge Pai Gow Baccarat room. And it's a lot of Asian players play in that room. Very few white people are in there. And it's very rare that I see white people playing at the same table with Asian people. I don't know why. Like I said, we have every right to be there. I'm not a victim. But
this is going off the rails.
This is going really well. No, keep going. Keep digging.
Keep digging.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, I've been in the mood to play Pai Gow, and I've seen a table full of Asian people, like one seat, and I'm like, maybe it's similar to like people, like clearly people who are friends or having fun. Like, I don't want to disrupt any superstition or anything that's going on, because sometimes Pai Gow people, and especially Baccarat people, can be a bit superstitious. I'm like, all right, you guys have fun. You know, if more spots open up or another table opens up, I'll play there. So that's Adam being racist for 2 minutes.
That's talking casual racism. No, I think I disagree on that. I would be very happy to join, even if they were like all speaking to each other in like Mandarin or whatever. It's like, I would still be very happy to be at a Pai Gow table with a bunch of Asian players, if only because it's like, I can fit in there because I know how to play Pai Gow. Like, I would feel much more, if I was a new player to Pai Gow, I think I would be much more intimidated if it seemed like, oh, these are like serious Asian gamblers, right? You know, or something like that. But for me, it's like, I'll be fine at that table, and all I'll do is make sure I'm not the slowest player at the table.
Yeah.
And, you know, you just kind of try to fit in, right?
I guess face up kind of solves a lot of that for me right now. This is definitely more of a face down predicament, but yeah. And my Mandarin's not great. It's getting better. Just got to learn good hand, and that's it.
Good hand. Great job. Now I'm leaving for Vegas in less than 24 hours.
Nice.
I have already packed. I packed yesterday because table games, Kim left yesterday for Vegas. She's there right now. And I was like, well, I may as well just get my packing done because I was lonely. Jack wanted to ask the question, is there anything on your pack list that's a must-have in Vegas? Like, are there any odd items that make the list for Vegas that might not make the list for other vacations? Well, besides my stack of players cards, I don't think there's anything different I bring. I do usually bring at least one, if not two, dressier outfits. I just enjoy having maybe like a collared shirt and slacks versus just always wearing kind of shorts and a t-shirt like I know some people wear all the time in Vegas. But I don't know if that's much different. I think if I was going for, 4 or 5 days to Chicagoland, I'd probably bring an outfit or two like that.
I just picked up a book called Subtle Signs You Might Be Racist, which I've been carrying with me. It's more of a pocketbook type thing. But I don't have anything that sticks out for me in terms of Vegas. I mean, I guess recently, like, I'll make sure that whenever I travel, I have the actual spirit, if you will, that I like, along with some old-fashioned mix that I can put in a check bag so that I have something to drink, and I know that it's, I'll have something quality that I can make myself in the hotel room.
Nice. I feel like there's two things that are very Vegas specific for me that are both moisture related. That doesn't sound as good as it's going to be.
Okay.
No, I was going to say one is bringing like an electrolyte mix. So bringing like little Gatorade packets or stuff like that to mix with your water, because I end up just so dehydrated in Vegas. And I think putting, sugar or artificial sweetener and all whatever else is in there into the water makes you more likely to drink more of it. Whereas if you just have like a water bottle with you, you might not be as judicious about drinking water, and you have to drink way more water than you think in Vegas. And then the other one is more like hand lotion and lip balm and face lotion and stuff like that, where it's just like I just feel so dry when I'm there that I make sure I have that stuff, which isn't necessarily part of what I would bring in my toiletries on any other trip.
Gotta pack the lube.
Yeah. What shit. One thing that I do in Vegas that's different everywhere else, whenever I leave the room, I always make sure I have a bottle of water on me when I'm walking around, just my walking around bottle. So that's one thing that I kind of curb that. It does cost a bit more money because you're buying waters all the time, but
yeah, ever since I said that, oh yeah, you have to buy all these waters in Vegas, and James was like, have you ever considered bringing a water bottle to Vegas? I was like, I actually had not considered that, but now I do for sure, especially if I'm going on like a long walk in the morning. I take a big bottle of water and take note of like where I can fill it up. So
I guess I bring liquid IV for sure.
Yeah, that's the same sort of idea as Gatorade.
I also pack that anytime we go to a wedding. We're like, oh, we need power bars, Advil, and liquid IV. And as long as I have those three things and like a phone, anything else I can buy.
And the lube.
And the lube. So I guess we should talk slightly about my trip, because I'm excited to be there. Now, this will drop after I'm already home. So we're going to have a lot of episodes like this. We just had the one a few weeks ago with Jack, was like, hey, by the way, here's a preview of my trip that I'll be done by the time anyone hears this. And the next time we record, it'll be the same thing.
Doing the same sort of thing.
Same thing. But there are a couple of updates from a couple weeks ago. One being I actually have plans.
Updates.
My good friend Michael and I, who you both met at the birthday bash, he'll be out there. And we are going to spend a solid 4 or 5 hours in the Arts District, going to a couple of breweries, check out a couple of restaurants, maybe tiki bar, etc. I'm just going to grab some water and some electrolytes and go down to the Arts District for a while, because it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot out there. And then yesterday, my great friend Eric, who's a textbook author, and this is
And Enz was your good friend, but this guy's your great friend.
Yeah. Well, once I tell you why, it'll be great. He was like, I have an extra ticket to see No Doubt at Sphere.
Nice.
And an extra spot for this dinner. No cost to you if you want to join.
That is a great friend.
Yeah.
As
Sorry,
we learned,
Michael, I'd take it back.
As we learned 2 weeks ago, I'm a huge fan of music.
Yeah. Are you going to wear earplugs?
I was actually going to
noise canceling headphones.
Yeah. No, but I'm pumped to go to the Sphere. I was like, yes, obviously I will be there 100%. So it's going to be really fun. Thursday and Friday, I will have to do some presentation stuff and a little bit of work, but most of the rest of the time will be just me at a video poker bar. I also went online and they were like, hey, your flight was changed by like 1 minute. So United's like, free change.
Yeah.
So
that's such a popular thing.
So I moved my flight from Saturday to Sunday, because why not have an extra day in Vegas when you don't need to be back?
Oh my God.
Just don't say anything. Like, that's a point where you don't have to say anything. I've had it where literally 4 months in advance, like, you're going to be 5 minutes delayed. Like, can we make up that time in the next 4 months somehow? Like, is there some sort of efficiency we can gain in the system?
The reason why I changed it is because I saw that J-Dubs was going to be in Vegas on that Saturday.
Nice.
And he's getting in like super late Friday. My flight was early on Saturday. And he was like, I don't know if I'm going to have much time. Like maybe we could hang out on Saturday morning. And I'm like, well, this gives me an excuse to tell my wife, hey, I don't get to see J-Dubs that often. So I'm going to extend my Vegas trip for 24 hours. And Josh was like, don't change your plans for me. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm going to be there with my wife. I don't know how much time I'll have. I'm like, really, this is not about you. This is about me and my gambling addiction of wanting to stay in Vegas for an extra day. And I booked at Luxor.
Wow. One night
at Luxor on that Saturday. It's a 1,200 square foot king suite.
Is it in the pyramid? It's in the pyramid. Oh,
yeah,
in the pyramid.
We're going to get an Inclinator review.
Yeah. So I've never been, and I was like, okay, I have MGM. I may as well get my $350 free play if I'm going to stay one night. And I said, hey, I'm going to try and stay somewhere I haven't stayed before. And that was kind of the best room that came up. I just went through every single property to see what's a random suite I can get that I would never really stay in. And that one came up as completely comped. So that's where I will be. I will be going from double booked at Wynn and Palazzo, and then Michael has a room at Rio for 2 of those nights, and then Luxor. So I'll be all over the place.
What a tour.
I'm super pumped. I'm so pumped. I haven't been in like 2 months.
Now, can we do a challenge where you sit at anytime you're at a video poker bar and you're going to be there for more than an hour, I just want you to write down the number of times you recognize a song that's playing in the casino.
Put that on the next tracker.
Yeah.
I will. I don't even recognize if there's actually music playing.
Right.
Yeah, write down if you notice there is a song playing.
Right.
Put a little star if you can. Yeah. I was going to ask, because you are ostensibly going out there for work, and you do have some work you have to do. Mm-hmm. At what point of the trip are you drop dead, like done with work? It is now just vacation.
Friday, probably about 5 p.m. Vegas time.
Okay, so pretty late in the trip then.
Yeah, but
you get to have fun throughout.
Yeah, both Thursday and Friday, like we have like 8:30 a.m. presentations to like 11:30, and then I booked a couple of like tutoring clients in the afternoon because it's pretty slow in the summer for the business. So every night by like 4 p.m. I don't have anything else to do. So yeah, it's a work trip, but the only reason why I'm going to the conference is because it's in Vegas.
Right.
So yeah. All right, well, that's going to do it for hour 1 of episode 24 of Handy at the Shandy. For Adam the Fraud and Boring Jack, I am Table James Games with the radio voice today. And hopefully you stick around for some listener feedback and questions in hour 2. We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Later.